Welcome to Two Humans Talking, the podcast where we talk about what it actually takes to thrive in this modern, fast paced world. I'm your host, Tiffany Simms, and today's guest is going to be, she's just magical. She is light, she is love, and I'm so excited to bring her to you. And today's episode of Two Humans Talking, it's brought to you by the Modern Women's Society. The Modern Women's Society is the space for high achieving women, the leaders, the community builders, the movement makers, the women that are leading from the front, making this world a better place. It's the space for her to rise without the guilt, the burnout, the shame, and exhaustion that her traditional success paths had left her with. If you're interested in getting to your next level, be sure to click the link below, and we look forward to seeing you on the inside. Kayshaun, I am so excited to have this chat with you. Just chatting with you backstage, like I can feel your heart, and I'm so excited to share that with people. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having this platform so that women like me can come on and speak to other women and pour into them. It's all about giving and receiving on a continuous basis.
Amen to that. So as we get started, tell
hmm
tell me a little bit about you, like who you are, where you're from, like what makes your soul sparkle that makes you you. Like I'd love to get to know you a little better.
Okay, I'm Kayshaun Brooks. I'm originally from Oakland, California, but I have been living in Modesto, California for close to 20 years now. And I love the slower pace of moving to the valley, getting away from the fast pace of the city. But Kayshaun is a unique woman. She's someone who's had a traumatic childhood, young adulthood, has suffered through a lot of trauma. And I'm someone who has learned to, um, as they say, turn lemons into lemonade. I've been able to do that with a life and just learn to be able to focus on the positive and not the negative, because everything is for a reason. We don't understand in the beginning why it's happening, but it's all for a reason. And if we are patient and humble, we will see soon enough what it's all for.
Yes, I love that. The patience. If we're patient and stay
Mhm.
the course with
Yes.
intentional actions, right? It will all make sense.
It will all make sense in due time.
I love that. I'm in that season right now, that season of like just pure knowing that everything that is hard is setting me up for something that I haven't imagined yet. And I'm developing a skill or collecting a resource or
Yes,
surrounding myself with new people that are going to be required of me to step into the thing I don't even know is coming.
exactly. I started this journey, I would say about 5 years ago, and it was as I was transitioning from out of the medical field. I have a background in nursing and 20 years in the medical field, and in 2018, I got severely injured at the prison that I was working at, and so it took me out of the medical field. And maybe like a year after that, I got chronically ill. So I was, suffering with chronic pain, chronic illness, not knowing who am I. All I've known is the medical field, and then getting really sick. At that time, my husband of over 20 years left me and our youngest kids while I was bedridden. So, it was COVID during the time. So we were already isolated. So to go through, I started the journey really then. That's what I go by, the holistic pain and trauma warrior. I took what I was going through, and now it has helped me walk into my purpose. But I didn't know who I was. I had never lived alone before in my life. I went from my daddy's house to his house. This is someone I had been with since I was 17. So now to have to figure out who is the real Kayshaun Brooks? Who is she besides the mom, the nurse working in the medical field? Who is she now that she's bedridden, have these kids to still take care of and herself, and is isolated and alone? And I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now because the holistic pain and trauma warrior was born out of that time.
I like no truer words have ever been shared, I don't think. There's something I feel like there's two camps of people. The people who understand and love and respect the journey of someone who turns their mess into a message so
Hmm.
that they can help other people through their journey. And there's like this reverence for it, right? And then there's the camp of people who like are, what are you doing? Like, not everything has such a deep meaning. Like, move on with your life, get a real job, do a thing. Like, and they're so cynical about it. And
Hmm.
I just, and whether, like, I don't know, it's just like, why would you walk through hell and survive it and not take the things that you learned on the backside and the moments of, if I had known that back then, maybe I could have made different choices. Like, why would you not share that with another human who needs you in their time, like to move through a hard time?
Yes. Yes. That's crazy. It's like and you know what? It was a mentor of mine that helped me see that because I'm an entrepreneur. I went full time into my entrepreneur journey once I couldn't go back into the medical field. So, which I kind of still feel like I am. I have a holistic skincare company, and so one of my mentors, as I started, having the surgeries, a lot of treatments, and was getting better and wasn't as bedridden, she was like, customers want to know, like, and trust the owner, and you need to get in front of the camera because I have my own affiliate marketing program. I was always pushing them, the affiliates, the brand ambassadors. I was behind the scene because I was trying to survive. But then once I got better, she was like, it's time for you. You're well enough to start speaking up from behind the scenes. And so I was like, I don't want to do that because it's ugly behind here. It's still not good, because you think when you're in this entrepreneur world, when you're looking at social media, everything is supposed to be, you know, um,
It's
cookies
picture
and
perfect.
cream.
This is
Yeah, nothing is supposed to be wrong. And so I was like, I'm not there. And she was like, it's not supposed to be like that. You have to be real, you have to be authentic. And I was just like, man, you want me, but it's ugly behind here. You want me to be raw and authentic like that? And she was like, yes, because there's someone you're supposed to. And that's when the holistic pain and trauma warrior was born. And I started speaking about my journey. I was like, okay, well, let me just take the people along with my journey because I'm nowhere near at the end. And people started reaching out like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm not the only one going through this. Or, it convicted me because I was helping them, and it made me feel like, what if I didn't say nothing? These people that are reaching out to me, and because I can share my journey and give them some advice, or so that they know that they're not alone, you know um they wouldn't be getting this relief. So I was like, I have to talk more, I have to share what I've been through. So that's kind of what nudged me into, you have to
there's
share
so
your
much
journey.
there's so much bravery and courage and this like self-sacrificing, not in the sense of like self-conceited laying on the sword, but of this like exposure to truly some of the like things that you just want to hide from the world because either
Mhm.
you feel shameful, it's not the way you want it to look. And
Yes.
there's such a skill in awareness and being able to like process your own journey and share it in a way from like a, how do I want to say that? Like shared in a way where you're not trauma dumping, where you're
Mhm.
just far enough along that
Yeah.
like you're sharing from a healed wound rather than an open wound in order to like relate and let someone else see themselves through your story to go save their own life. And it is such a gift and a skill. And so, like, we appreciate the humans like that in this world because it helps us process what we're going through and let us know that we're not alone and we're not crazy and it's not just us and that it doesn't have to be this way if I choose to keep going and do things
Yes.
differently than I did before.
Yes. Exactly. And I like how you said it's like a fine line you got to get. You're trying, you want to make sure you're not trauma dumping, but you want to make sure you're saying just enough to show the healed side of you, and that just made me think sometimes I go into an isolation mode because sometimes it can feel like you're trauma dumping on people. And you'd be like, well, let me quit talking some. It's okay sometimes to pull back a little bit because you just never know, but you don't want to stay back. It's okay to pull back a little bit, but then you have to continue to move forward.
Amen.
Yes.
I I say that 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 comment I want to share. I think it's important to share where it came from me, like in
Mhm.
my soul. Was there were times where like I was just trying to be vulnerable and I was trying to be transparent and I didn't want someone to think something that wasn't true. And so it was like I was not that there's a thing as oversharing, but the way I was sharing when I look back wasn't actually helping people through their stuff. It was actually me just trying to survive. And so when I look back in those
Mhm.
moments, like I can see the difference, which helps me now between
Yeah.
the like me holding on for dear life, trying to pretend like I have it all together when I don't, because I don't want anyone to think anything is a lie versus like sometimes we just need a minute to be private, to sort some things out and then share a story. And there is no right or wrong answer, is also the other piece of that I want to get out there. There's no right or wrong way to do it.
That is so true. I really like how you said that because we get in our heads sometimes that there is a wrong and a right way. No, it's a your way. It's what's going to help you, be complete, and you got to be okay with that. And that's part of setting boundaries, as well. Be okay with it being your way and not someone else's way.
Yes. Do you ever struggle with like when you are like being self-aware and trying to like find your own way? Do you ever like have moments where you're like, "Ooh, that wasn't about me helping someone. That piece was about me trying to validate my own existence and having someone like see me." I've been there. The reason I was just
Oh,
asking is that like from where I sit now, I can see the times when I thought it was about other people, but really I just wanted someone to see me. And all of it is an important part of the story. All of it's
you
so important.
It is. It is. As someone who suffers with chronic pain, you fall into that, dealing with chronic illnesses as well. You can fall into that victim mindset, where, okay, yes, you are going through this pain. Yes, you are going through this, but, and you want the whole world to know. You want them to be like, okay, even though you can't visibly see it, I need you to understand, what I'm going through. And sometimes, it's a humbling pill. For me, what recently I noticed this. So I have several different mentors, and there was one where she helps out a lot of people, but she cannot stand people who complain. She That's just one thing she cannot stand, people who complain, and she doesn't want to hear it. And because she's so high up and helps a lot of people, she gets a lot of people complaining. They're telling her about her life. And so as I noticed we were getting closer, I wanted her to understand what I was going through because I needed her to understand, but I couldn't do it. This was one of the first times I really had to just stop myself because I was like, she doesn't want to hear the excuses. She does, like, I can't do it, but I want to. And so recently I was in a class, And it was bothering me mentally. I was still pushing on, moving forward, but mentally behind the scenes it was bothering me, because it's like, man, she's so hard on me, she's pushing me like crazy, like no one's going through what I'm going through, why are you pushing me this hard and not paying attention to what I'm going through. And just recently, literally last week in a class, she was like, I see you, Kayshaun. I remember, Kayshaun. I remember what it was like back then. You've been around for years. I've been watching you for years. And so it taught me that even though I didn't have that opportunity to just pour into her, oh, it's me, this is what I'm going through, I need you to understand this, because I wanted her to be like, you ain't met a soldier like me before. I wanted to, but I couldn't. But I got my I don't know if the justification is the word, but it was
Validation.
the validation, where I never had to go into those details. I didn't have to do the me, recognize it from me, just because she's like, you never gave up, whether you in the hospital or whatever. She was like, you kept going. And it just brought a sense of like, okay, I am recognizable. I didn't have to do it the way how I wanted to do it, because I needed you to know, like, I'm doing this event and then I'm going into the hospital after this. You need to know the level of dedication I have in this. But I didn't know where it was gonna go, but it was a beautiful feeling.
Oh my gosh. Like, I love this because this is such real life.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many times that we just want someone to see how hard we're working, especially when things aren't moving the way we want them to. We just want someone to like see us, tell us we're doing a good job, understand how we are going above and beyond, and give us all the stickers, right? And there's nothing wrong with stickers. I celebrate myself all the time. I have a whole sticker pack. I'm like a 5-year-old. I give myself
Oh
stickers.
wow.
Like, it started when I was in grade school. If I got 100 on my spelling test, my mom would take us to the dollar store and I was allowed to buy a whole pack of stickers. And I like that. I just love stickers. So I would study for my spelling tests. And so here I am, a 40-year-old woman. I still reward myself with stickers for a job well done. Um, so fun. But like, what I'm curious, what did you learn about yourself by not being able to sink into all of the, not excuses, but the reality of your specific situation? Like, what did you learn about yourself in that process?
It taught me that I don't have, everyone's not going to receive the information I need them to, or recognize what I'm going through the way I want them to. Like in my mind, I feel like the only way you can understand what I'm going through is if I communicate with you. If we sit down and have a one-to-one, if you didn't read my book or some article or something, like some one-to-one intimate contact. But I've learned it doesn't have to be that way, that I have to be able to allow people to receive the knowledge or the information, or for them to be receptive in their own way, in their own timing, because it was more effective that way when I'm not being so aggressive, I should say.
Mm.
Yes.
In the situations where I've been like that, because I think it happens to all of us, especially in entrepreneurship, especially in the earlier years, specifically, like when you don't know anything and you're just trying so hard and you just need someone to tell you that they see you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think the biggest lesson I learned was the ownership, that it doesn't actually matter. All of the things that I thought they needed to know were either my own excuses validating why I couldn't do exactly what I was being coached to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need to understand why I can't do it that way and why I am a special snowflake. And I need you to be okay with that. And I need
Right.
you to see it and tell me I'm doing a good job anyway. But it really, for me, really showed me to take full ownership, and that sometimes the details of what we're going through don't actually matter to other people. It's like, can you do the thing that you say you're going to do no matter what you're going through,
Yeah.
without stooping to the level of excuses and experiences and why it's taking me a little bit longer. And I think that that helped me grow, like, in my resilience in ways that I couldn't see until this moment right now in our
Mhm.
conversation.
Yes. What helped me get to that level, as well as, you know, while I was bedridden and still going through what I'm going through, I have to strategically pick the things that I'm going to do. Like this year, last month I just won this award through my Chamber of Commerce. I was nominated for Small Business of the Year, but then also won Welcome.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then, but I won Welcome Team Member of the Year. And I told them in my acceptance that I didn't even know they were going to have this award, but I was like, the first 6 months when I joined the chamber, I was going to everything, all the networking events. I was just, donating, my skincare products to every giveaway. I was hitting it hard, running the first 6 months. But then my health started having challenges. And then after that, it was only once or twice a month. So I had to strategically pick what I was going to be involved with. And I was like, I would have never thought I would have gotten this award as best welcome team member, because I wasn't as involved as I thought I should be, but I made major impacts. But suffering with chronic pain and chronic illness, I got to pick and choose what I do. And then be okay with it. I couldn't, as I said earlier, I'm used to being in control, doing what I want to do, how I want to do it. But suffering, being in this type of lifestyle now, I have to do things in increments and be okay with those small wins, because those small wins lead up to getting recognized, by the city, so
So fun.
it's taught
Are
me to.
you finding that this transition is teaching you to be more intentional in
Yes.
how you're showing up and what you're showing up and what
Yes.
impact you're gonna have? Like, can you share a
Extremely.
little bit more about that?
Like for example, what was it? So because I am strategic about how I show up, I have to calculate, okay, what's going on before, what's going on after, how is it going to affect me, or who can support me. For example, I seen this grant that my city was given, and I had been watching it for like a month, and I was like, man, I should apply. They want community leaders or advocates to host a what is it, a free community event. And I was hesitant. And then I think maybe the third or fourth time I seen it, I was like, hey, Sean, just apply for the grant and see what happened. And so I applied, and within 72 hours, and I didn't even really try hard. I was like, look, I'm gonna need all of this money, because what I want to do is gonna cost way more than this. I'm gonna provide this, and this. So just go on and give me the little bit of money to help pay for it. And within 72 hours, they granted me the grant, and now I'm being coined as, a community leader, a community connector within my community. But I just went for it. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I was getting out of my way. But they responded the way they did because of those little strategic actions that I have been doing for this past year. So they've been watching me, and I'm not knowing this. So be okay with the small wins, the small movements, as long as you are moving forward, and I'm gonna do it in a sense of non-business wise. So for 5 years, I haven't been able to go to the gym or anything like that. I just now started, it's a gym called Hot Works Gym. They do like hot yoga and hot Pilates and hot stretches in the sauna and everything. And back in the fall, I was routine going for like 3 months. I went straight. But during Christmas time, I pushed myself. I did something. It set my health back, and I haven't been able to go back in. I've been going like once a week. I'm okay with that once a week. I'm not beating myself up as in, oh my God, I look at me, I'm not working out, but I'm back to once a week, because I can go back to last year when I wasn't going at all. When I first started, I had to go that once a week to that twice a week until my body was okay. And I've learned how to set boundaries to myself. I don't always have to push myself to the extreme limits. It's okay to sometimes do the minimum and that actually be the maximum.
Well, I love that because sometimes the minimum, it's like, it's not even the minimum. It's what am I capable of doing? Like,
Yes,
what
yes,
can I do? What am I capable of? What is 100% for me today that's
yes.
helping me towards becoming the like woman of my own dreams, right?
Mhm, mhm. And being okay with that. Like, I'm gonna go to my skincare company real quick. I've never even told anyone this. So, the I'm a three-time award-winning skincare company, and my first award that I received was for my facial collection. And I'm so humbled by that because I remember, and I stay real and authentic. People can look at me on social media, think that I'm this, you know, rich company, and I'm like, nah, it ain't like that. This ain't nothing but the grace of God. But I remember starting my facial set, and I can't believe I'm about to tell y'all this. I literally, looking for packaging and stuff. I dropped my facial line with 4 sets. What most people would have like 10, 20, 30 sets. It was a pack of 12 containers, which was only going to be 4 sets. And I dropped that line after I had all my testimonials and everything. But I was like, okay, I got four. Am I really about to launch this facial collection with only 4 sets? Who does that with only four? Like it's the newest. I promoted that facial set like it was the next best thing since sliced bread. And 2 years later, I was winning an award. Now, what if I wouldn't have had faith and just went with, okay, well, once the three gets sold, then I'll buy some more containers. I got to have a couple. What's the point of having 100? Let me move these four. So it's about not knowing what's going to happen and walking in faith. And look what happened.
It's showing up as if it already happened. I
Hmm.
can't tell you how many webinars I've hosted to a room of no one. But yet no one logged in, no one showed up for the webinar, and I gave the presentation as if there were 50 people in the room to myself and the dog on the couch because it was show up
Wow.
as the person who's already achieved it. Because
Yes.
and thank God, because there were things that I recognized in the process where it's like, oh my God, there's a reason no one showed up today. It was so that I could realize that I
Hmm.
needed to like so change some things around and that this wasn't going to be like a good gift to people, right? And so
Yes.
like there's so much learning in the doing and people are so afraid to do because they might be seen like as a beginner of something. God forbid.
Right. 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 It's okay to start over. It is okay. I did not know what I was going to do. I'm like, I've been a nurse for 10 years, working in the medical field for 20. What am I going to do? And there was the embarrassment feeling, like people are going to look at me like I'm a failure, like, oh my, what is she going to do? What is she? And some of the times when you think you're starting over, you're really not starting over. Like, for example, with my company, I was already making the products. It was a part of my lifestyle. I was doing it for a decade already while I was a nurse before I even started a business. So it was like, okay, what am I gonna do now as I can't was coming out of my nervous breakdown? Because believe me, I had a nervous breakdown after like, what am I gonna do after 20 years? And I had been doing it for 10 years, but didn't even really realize it. But it's okay to start over because it's you walking in your purpose. I didn't understand why I ended up with stage 4 endometriosis in a rare form, and my organs are infused. Like I didn't ask for none of this, but as I've learned and who I am, it was meant for me because there's not a lot of advocacy. There's not a lot of people speaking about this. So if I had not been through this, I wouldn't be the next voice that's getting ready to break down doors and kick through doors, making some noise about this health condition. But I had to go through it to shine light. And now that I'm going through it, I can't even imagine not going through this and knowing someone is going through this and no one cares. So when we think we starting all over, we really not. We just shifting and pivoting.
Yes, I love that you said that because the thing that kept popping up to me, I was like, but like, because I've been there too. It's like that fear of what will, if I do this thing, it's like I believe in me, but how will I feel if everyone around me thinks I'm a failure, decides that this means I'm a failure because I'm pivoting? Like, oh, she
Mhm.
couldn't hack it. She couldn't handle it. Like she
Yes.
just failed and she's trying to play it off like it's this thing, right?
Hmm.
But I don't believe that we started, you can't start over when you're carrying all the lessons and skills and habits and experiences that you collected for the decade, 2 decades before with you into the next thing. Like you are just taking what you have and repurposing them to go do something new. And so like it's not even a starting for me, it's not even a sense of starting over. It's taking all of these things that I've collected and creating something new with them.
Yes, I like how you said repurposing,
Yeah.
because when I look at what I was doing before the accident, like, okay, yeah, I'm this nurse, but I was working for the Department of Corrections. I wasn't even really working as a nurse. I was doing more project management and, leadership roles and developing programs and things like that. They sent me to school to get my degree in business management, certified me to be a Lean Six Sigma green belt. That had nothing to do with nursing, all this stuff that they were doing. And who knew all of that was going to be in playing into my future today. I didn't know getting this business degree I was going to be a full.
All those side quests we didn't know their purpose of.
Yes, I did not know the purpose. So it's beautiful to look back and see I was being prepared for where I am
Amen.
right now.
Amen. As you were saying that, I was like, the truth is that had like I tried to do what I'm doing now 10 years before, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Mhm.
I hadn't collected the badges yet, right? Like the Girl Scout vest was empty.
Yes.
It wouldn't have worked. Like I had to go through all of those things to be able to step into that new chapter. That's so
Yeah.
fun. That's
Yes.
so fun. How do we connect with you outside of the show, Kayshaun?
You can connect with me. I'm on all social media platforms. Kayshaun Brooks, LinkedIn, Facebook, on Instagram. It's the real Kayshaun Brooks, and specifically, if you go to Instagram, the real Kayshaun Brooks, you can see in my bio the links to my email to set up an appointment if you want to have a consultation with me because I offer free consultations as well.
Oh my goodness. Go be a human with this woman. I say it all the time. Like two humans talking. It's about being human and having real
Mhm.
conversations with other humans who are breathing the air in this earth. And because we're not meant to do life alone. We're meant to connect and
Yeah.
meant to like interact with other people, not just like mindlessly scroll past them and stalk them on the internet. So go be a human and connect with her.
Yeah.
Kayshaun, as we are wrapping this up for today, is there anything left on your heart that you wanted to share with us that maybe we didn't get to?
Yes, you just mentioned it as you were closing. We are not meant to live life alone. Just because you're not going through life who you want to go through it with, there are other people out here for you to go through life with. As I was laying in bed, bedridden, husband gone, mother dying, isolation because of COVID. But I started to network and collaborate and build relationships with people online, with people in my community eventually. So be okay with accepting help and building relationship with those you would least expect it from. Don't run your blessing away because it's not coming from who you expect it to come from.
Oh, with that is Humans Talking, and I will see you next time. Bye.